Good day everybody. In this video series we talk about computer generation. There are four clearly defined computer generation in computer science, and we can define generation and sixth generation. Let's we identify what are the generations. First generation computer used vacuum tube that started 1940s to 1956. Second generation computer was started 1956 to 1963. It used transistor. Third generation computer 1964 to 1971 ICH integrated circuit. Fourth generation computer 1971 and 1979 to present using computers, that's microprocessors. Same as we can identify fifth generation computer as AI, artificial intelligence. It started after 2010. And sixth generation computer, that's beyond technology, that nanotechnology and quantum computing. Let's hereafter we can talk about computer generation in details. First generation computer used vacuum tube computer 1940s to 1956. The first computer generation began with the only use of vacuum tube, which removed mechanical function from the computer. Beginning in the 1940s, computers were used only powered by vacuum tube. It was transition from to analog to digital. The first generation began with the full digitized computer. After 1940s, mechanical parts were removed and the operation were entirely powered by electricity. Working electronically, the beginning of this era was when vacuum tubes were introduced, and at that time it was the beginning of the computer, first generation computer. The main reason for develop this computer generation was World War I and nuclear war. That's become primary cause for develop these computer generations, as well as development of necessary technology and equipment during this time. Computer could store data and magnetic disk. In this generation, computer is known as the first term of the word computer in computer science history. But this computer took up a lot of space and were quite heavy. Approximately 13 to 50 square meters of space, and those were at least 7 tons heavier. This era's computer required a large amount of power, 50 to 150 kilowatt. These were unreliable and programming on them was a laborious task because these used high level programming language and had no operating system. Computer of the first generation were used for calculation, storage and control. They were so large and bulk that they required a full room and used a lot of electricity. Quantity between 1942 to 1943, approximately 100 different vacuum tube computers were produced. ENIAC computer, electronic numerical integrator and computer, it's built by J. Prosper Eckert and John V. Maturely. It was a general purpose computer. It had been very heavy and large and contained 800,000 vacuum tubes. In the last video series, we talk about these computers. Also, this age we can identify next main build computer was EDVAC computer. Electronic discrete variable automatic computer was designed by the von Neumann. It could store data also as introduction, and thus the speed was enhanced. UNIVAC computer, universal automatic computer, was developed by 1952 by Eckert and Miccioli. Also in this age build IBM 650 was the first formed widespread general purpose computer. Let's we talk about primarily characteristic of the computer generation. The main component was vacuum tube, computer programming language, machine language. This computer main memory magnetic tape and magnetic drum. Also, input and output device were paper tape and the punch card. This computer was speed and the size very slow and very large in size. We can identify advantage of first generation. The primary generation computer had the advantage of being in fast and capable of calculating knowledge in the milliseconds. Disadvantage and barriers of first generation computer were much bigger. They used a massive amount of energy such as 15 to 150 kilowatts. Because of the thousand of vacuum tubes used, they heated up extremely quickly. They weren't terrible reliable. Maintenance was required and maintenance were unacceptable. It was This computer was not transportable and expensive business production. Work capacity is extremely low. Programming ability are limited. Punch card were used in as input output device. Let's go to next generation. Next generation transistor, second generation between 1956 to 1963.